just finished a session and went on an entire journey. And I wanted to speak a little actually into my personal reflections around women and women feeling safe, women feeling safe to feel empowered to connect in intimacy. And this is something that has been coming up recently a lot in my life with the clients that I've been seeing and in my personal life as well, and in the community. This whole idea around women wanting to feel safe to connect in intimacy, and that being missing for them, that there is this lack of safety to fully surrender into intimacy, whether that be because there are stories that are still in play that are preventing them from fully surrendering into intimacy. They have experiences from the past which have hurt them, and so is inhibiting their ability to surrender into intimacy. And also just guys being unable to hold their integrity and hold space in a way that allows the surrender into intimacy. The empowerment to surrender. There's the duality there, right? And this is where the tantric teachings come in. That we live in non-dual Shaiva Tantra, reality is non-dual, but is expressed dualistically. We live in a reality full of opposites. We have light and dark and up and down and left and right and masculine and feminine and male and female. And all of these an interplay of the one divine consciousness that is so free that it can express itself in all of the ways, the entire spectrum that exists between the two extremes of polarities. And I see this like light, right? Light can be on, light can be off, but there is also the dimmer switch that provides the entire range between the two. And where this plays into is this idea of masculine and feminine, these being energetics, nothing to do with gender being an expression of masculine and feminine energies. It's just an expression in one particular aspect, and one that gets stuck. That vibration of energetic stays consistent in physical form. But with regards to masculinity and femininity, the interplay of the polarity, the safety, the empowerment to feel safe, to surrender, and how to how to invite women to feel that empowerment to surrender, because there is an empowerment in surrender. We perceive empowerment, we perceive surrender to be a weakness, but actually there's a strength in it. Having the strength to fully surrender, having the trust to let go, that requires strength. It's not a lack of strength. It's the expression of strength, but at the other end of the spectrum, the ability to surrender. And as a guy, I don't want to say as a guy, because that's ascribing that it's a result of being a man, but personally, in my male form, in masculinity, I have struggled with surrender. I struggle with letting go. And that isn't helpful. There isn't, it can be a hindrance. Sometimes, yes, holding on, strength, is a useful thing, but without the ability to do the opposite, it's not a choice, and so there's not empowerment in that, right? the empowerment is having the choice as to which to reside in. And if you're not able to surrender, then you're not able to choose that space to be in. And what is sovereignty if not the ability to choose? And this goes into the tantric teachings as well, where it's at any given moment there is only one choice: the choice to abide by your programming or to return to presence. And most of the time we aren't exhibiting the self-reflective quality of self-awareness to actually make that choice consciously. We're abiding by, we're living by, we're being enslaved to our programming. And sometimes that is unhelpful. These programs can often be installed at a young age. They are, part of the unconscious ways that we have picked up how to navigate through the world, because at some point it served us and it kept us safe. But it wasn't a conscious choice to adopt that behavior, to adopt that programming. And so as we come into later life and we reach points where the programming no longer serves us and it's highlighted in the suffering that we experience in our life, then becomes an opportunity to reflect and recondition, reprogram, supplant those programs with more healthy choices. And that's not necessarily an easy thing to do, because if it was an easy thing to do, we'd do it already. It requires self-analysis, it requires knowledge, it requires the desire to do it. Most of the time it requires a guide, someone who has walked a similar path that can offer a helping hand. And really that's what I'm doing with Mind Yoga. I am using these tantric teachings to go on that journey with someone, creating a safe space for them to go on this self-exploration, to return to their sense of safety, to return to their empowerment. And this is what I'm endeavoring to do, and why I'm wanting to have more conversations with women, as an opportunity to communicate to the masculine what it is that you're needing to feel safe, because maybe you don't even know. Maybe these are conversations that you've not actually had with yourself, let alone other women or with masculine, whether that be a partner or father or any person in your life, to genuinely know what it is that's required within yourself to return to a state of safety, to return to a state of empowerment, to actually make the choice of how to act in the world, in relationship, whether that be to yourself, to someone else, or to spirit. And that's what we're doing. So if you're a woman, if you're predominantly in your identification of feminine, energetic, and you have recognized that you don't feel as safe as you would like to in your intimacy, in your exchange, not necessarily with the masculine, but even just with anyone else, and you're wanting to understand how to feel more safe, then please reach out, because I want that for you too. And I want to know more, using these tantric tools and tantric principles, how to bridge the gap, to communicate these things better, to allow and invite more safety within the feminine to be able to feel empowered to surrender into intimacy. And it feels like the best way to do that, perhaps even the only way, is through conversation. And this is why mind yoga, this is why I'm creating safe spaces, in order for you to do that, not just so that you can learn, but so I can learn, and so that we all can learn what is required to create safety and how best to communicate that. And the tantric tools, the tantric teachings are such a great foundation for it, because there's so much timeless wisdom, and it's a beautiful way, at least I found, in understanding the nature of reality that doesn't require surrendering sovereignty, surrendering one's own empowerment to something external, but recognizing that that empowerment, that sovereignty, that safety, that strength resides within you and is accessible to you at any point, to be able to find that sense of liberation, that freedom, to truly surrender to the present moment and feel empowered in it. So, yeah, thank you.